can go ahead and just be calm and loving and just like grab her by the waist and just be like, hey, kiddo, I got this. Just chill out, enjoy the ride, and come alongside.
Yep.
And just speaking slowly and in calm tones will more often than not go ahead and satisfy the whole like security gland thing for most situations for most women. And guys just don't know to go ahead and like chill out a little bit, take a breath, look her in the eye, be like, I got you, kiddo.
I got this.
Right? And
it's hot. I'm gonna say it's hot.
Right? And there you go. And that's all it takes sometimes. So let's go ahead and talk about things or areas where good men go wrong. And the idea is to identify 3 behaviors that really destroy masculine frame and masculine leadership in marriage. And the first bit is appeasing instead of leading. This is being Mr. Nice Guy and happy wife, happy life.
And that starts early.
Mm-hmm.
It starts more in like the dating phase where it's like, I'm going to do enough nice stuff to hook her in.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you got her, because you guys are now married, and you're like, I don't have to do that nice stuff anymore.
Or you have gotten her accustomed to bending over backwards to every whim that she's got, that she just assumes that that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But in that circumstance specifically, the guy made the mistake in the first place of not having boundaries in frame and not having expectations and just bending over backwards for her the whole time. Well, when you train somebody to treat you a certain way, they're going to treat you that way. And so why are you going to be surprised that every time you say yes, dear, to some ridiculous thing that she's bringing up, that you are digging your hole deeper and deeper, and you're getting yourself further and further away from the life that you actually want as a guy?
Yeah, that's why it especially bothers me. It's just so unsettling and like makes my stomach turn a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
When women say, oh yeah, I've got him trained to do this, blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah, that's disgusting.
It's even worse when a man goes, oh yeah, she's trained me.
Right, because they're co-signing it. So it's one thing for women to go ahead and try to go ahead and get street cred with other women.
Yeah.
You know, in the coven, and, you know, because they're all talking about training their men a lot of times. And then the one woman that's like, no, my man's good. I don't need to worry about training him. Like the other women look at her with scorn. They're like, what are you talking about?
Sit with us.
Yeah, we wear pink on Wednesdays. Get out of here.
Well, yeah, it's really funny how I've just flabbergasted a lot of women where they're like, the one lady at church when I first met her was like, my name is, and I'm the boss. And I said, my name's Dawn and I'm not. And she didn't know what to do with that.
Right.
And she's baffled. Like, she's just like, she kind of like scuttled off. I was like, hey, that's me.
Right. Because like the funny thing is like, she's kind of got his balls in a vice. But the thing is like, she's got him trained just the way she wants him. Yeah. And she's happy with it.
But honestly, it kind of shows that like, you know, he has certain things where like he has the frame there.
Sure.
But like a lot of things, he just lets her get away with stuff.
Yeah, but it's really funny to see those times where he is exercising frame are the times that she looks at him with like pride and she is beaming, right? And the times where he is just going along and getting along, nothing. It's just cold fish.
She just like does everything else.
She just does whatever she wants to do.
But when like he actually does exercise his authority, she's just like,
yeah, and it's like
see a dopey, like doe-eyed face, and I'm like, hey, you know what's up.
Yeah, whereas if we knew him a little bit better, I might just be like, hey, do you need me to hand you a mop? It's okay. Like, you can go, here's a mop while you go ahead and get back to your house and you can go ahead and handle it, you know, properly.
You can borrow my apron.
Yeah, here you go. That's pretty funny. So another like common trap where good guys go wrong is the idea of micromanaging a situation instead of guiding.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to like control every little bit instead of like establishing the rules for the game and letting her just go around and handle things to the best of her ability within the established guidelines that you provide her.
That is where it gives that the only place and situation you can make the argument that somebody is being controlling out of insecurity.
Okay.
That is where, okay, that makes sense.
Sure.
Because you know what it's like for, like people like in the chain of command when you were in the military that micromanaged.
Oh, yeah, it's the worst.
You did the worst under that rather than having the ones who provided guidance, just right and left, showed you kind of the small, vague picture of what right looks like.
Sure.
And go, whatever agency, and that's how you run the business too.
Sure. As I go ahead and give left and right boundaries, and I go ahead and give them enough room to operate as they ought to. And the ones that need more guidance, okay, we'll give them more guidance. That's fine. But I would rather give them freedom to exercise their God-given talents in such a way that is mutually beneficial for themselves and the business.
Yeah. The vision or the ultimate goal is to get them to a point where they can exercise their own agency.
Yeah. Now, if we go back to the idea of the cruise ship and Le Grand Suite, like the idea is for decorating, you can go ahead and say, hey, here are your left and right boundaries. You can go ahead and decorate whatever you want in this. Here are some things you can't do, and here are some things that I would prefer. Go ahead and handle it from there.
Yeah.
As opposed to letting the Chaos Goblin go ahead and decorate the whole cruise ship. That doesn't work.
We have fluffy pillows everywhere. Why?
Right?
I'm tripping over them.
And so, like, you're giving boundaries, you're giving guidelines, and you're giving enough artistic freedom for them to express themselves in such a way where they are free to grow where they're planted. As opposed to the idea of just saying, here's the checklist, this is exactly what you do, and if you deviate from this, you'll be punished. Like, I can't think of too many women that would want that.
Yeah.
But there are some women that do. And if you do, then be clear about that's what you want from your captain. And the captain can go ahead and be like, okay,
Part
cool.
of the itinerary negotiation process.
Right? And if that's what you're wanting, negotiate it.
Do you, boo-boo?
Do it. Like, by all means, I'm not here to yuck in your yum, but just know what you're about and be about it. Right? And then I would say the third, like, big mistake that nice guys make is when they feel overwhelmed, they completely disengage with everything. And they go ahead and go like full robot mode because they can't handle it.
That's the passivity.
Right? And they'll just kind of like go away instead of trying to handle things properly, where in the storm, being calm and being the voice of reason and knowing when to call it for a little bit and say, things are getting too heated. I love you. We need to spend like 5 minutes taking a break, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. And like having the vision to look beyond the direct context of the conversation, to look 2 or 3 steps further and see when things are escalating and knowing when to cut it off, and to cut it off gently, not to be like slamming doors and all this crap, but to just be like, I love you. We need some time. I need to collect myself. You need to collect yourself. Let's come back in 5 minutes. Here's some water.
Especially if you are trying to kind of walk back some, practices that weren't the healthiest for a relationship.
Sure.
And you're trying to institute this from a place of passivity and, allowing the vampire loose in the blood bank.
Sure. It's going to take some time and practice to get these things right.
So, and that's kind of, we really did have to practice that when, in our first like years of marriage and when we went to therapy.
Sure.
That was what she was like, you need to like, when you can talk about stuff and then you're getting too crazy, like you need to make an appointment to come back.
Right.
Because it's like, we'll just say, oh, we'll just handle this later. And then later never happens until the next something that happens.
Sure.
And the whole thing.
And resentment bubbles up in that interim because it's not being addressed properly.
Yeah.
Right. And so that resentment is like having poison in the relationship when you should be trying to put some anti-venom in there so that you can have a healthy relationship together.
But you're putting too little so it doesn't eradicate all of it.
Right. Or you're like putting too much in there and then all of a sudden now you've got like cancer from the anti-venom that you put in.
You niced it over too much that it became sickening.
Yeah. And so there's just like anything else in life, there is a process and a procedure and a way to do these kinds of things. And if you haven't been doing this for an extended period of time, it's okay to start now. It's okay to give yourself permission to think first about what you're looking for and to go ahead and express in a non-threatening manner to someone that you're already in a relationship with what you're seeing, what you're feeling, and where you want to be and whether it makes sense. Hopefully you're doing these things before you get married, especially on things that are like non-negotiable.
Ideally.
But
if not,
like these are the kinds of things that can go ahead and easily blow up a marriage is if you go ahead and come up with non-negotiables well after the fact.
yeah, especially, sometimes at first you just have to think of it like kind of in an oversimplified way where you kind of tell yourself, do I want to be right or do I want to be married?
Sure. And hopefully you're doing this stuff before you get married and you can go ahead and treat a relationship like an extended like hiring process. If you're a guy that's got stuff going on in life,
Yeah.
and you have the ability to have options and to be a little bit picky about what you're going to go ahead and accept and not accept, you have more power to set the terms. And the idea of like having things laid out ahead of time so that she's not surprised, right? She knows exactly what she's getting into and her eyes are wide open to it. And don't get me wrong, there are some things that can change along the way. Like, especially if you got together real early, like if you guys came from nothing and then all of a sudden you've built an empire, like sometimes things change a little bit and like you make proper adjustments so that both sides of the equation are made better off. And I think that's how marriages and good relationships last over time is you try to go ahead and make things better, not only for yourself, but for the other person and like concern what they want out of life when you are coming up with your stuff too.
I think if you are married for any length, significant length of time, you're inevitably going to change and evolve as a human being through the seasons of life and through, when you go through your first like really tough thing.
Right.
You're just going to come out a little different. And it is never a bad idea to come back to the negotiating table.
Sure.
It's just like, hey, I'm feeling the shift, like, especially when you feel like there's kind of a rift or like a distance.
If this message resonated with you, I'll ask that you go ahead and hit the subscribe button below so that you can go ahead and get more. And I ask that you send this message to someone who could benefit from it. I hope you have a fantastic day.